Game number 10 of the season for Boston. It's also the third game of this current road trip as Boston will continue back-to-back games in the state of Florida as they get the Tampa Bay Lightning, one of the top teams of the Atlantic contest. It's probably the litmus test, if you will, for the Boston Bruins, a true litmus test as they have, Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Ben Bishop, Anton Vasilevsky, or Andre Vasilevsky, etc., etc. Ben Bishop, I think I mentioned him before. It is a built-to-win playoff team that you're going up against in their hometown, a team that has just been on a tear. But the Bruins have been on a respectable two-game winning streak in themselves, primarily on the back of one Tuukka Rask. But they do get their highest scorer in David Pastrnak back tonight. Ryan Spooner's back in the lineup. That's a good thing. But no Matt Bolesky, who will not be appearing in the now coined the no-scoring line, the third line for Boston. That one that features Riley Nash, Jimmy Hayes, and Matt Bolesky that doesn't have a fucking point. Anyway, he gets replaced by Sean Kuraly. He makes his NHL debut tonight. That's a big one in Boston. It's a big one in Tampa tonight. We'll see if the Bruins can pull it off on the Bruins Recap Show. So we start things off in the first period as it's 2-2Ks, Tuukka Rask taking on Andre Giant Vasilevsky. Guy goes about 6'3", 207 with couches for legs that he just throws at you to make saves. But Boston will start it out early with a 1-0 lead as it's the defenseman, Brandon Carlo. And this kid is going to be a stud going forward. As Patrice Bergeron will win the faceoff back to Carlo, and he takes it all the way down the boards and just gets a bad angle shot off of Vasilevsky and makes it a 1-0 game for Boston. So later on in the second period, the Boston Bruins get a big power play opportunity. In fact, a 4-minute power play as I believe it was David Pastrnak gets a stick in the face, breaks a couple of teeth. I got to get some dental work done for Pastrnak. It didn't look good. Anyway, so about the second half or the second quarter, if you will, or fourth quarter of that power play, if you want to break it down into football terms, patience from the Bruins power play as it's a slap pass from Torrey Krug finds Ryan Spooner. Welcome back, Ryan Spooner. On the power play, makes it a 2-0 hockey game for Boston.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
However, it is challenged by the Tampa Bay coach for an offsides on the potential entry, which happened about a minute and a half prior to the goal being scored. So either way, it's inconclusive, so it is a good goal. Later on in the first period, it's Tampa Bay on the power play, and it's Victor Hedman with a nasty shot on a drop pass, making it a 2-1 hockey game. Solid first period, solid opener, but things got a little sloppy at the end. We'll see what the second period has to hold. Second period immediately begins for Tampa Bay as it's Andre Palat who puts it in, but this goal will be unreviewed by the officials, and it is a distinct kicking motion. No goal, sir. No goal for you. Still a 2-1 hockey game, but David Pastrnak comes back on a weird one as the Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak line having chance after chance, and it's the weird one that goes in. Go figure. As Patrice Bergeron looking for Brandon Carlo on a cross-ice pass, it hits the skate of David Pastrnak and goes in, makes it a 3-1 hockey game. At least I think David Pastrnak tipped it in. Who knows? Could be somebody else. Later on in the second, though, and it's Tampa Bay on the power play again. Tell me if you've heard this one before. Tampa Bay on the power play. They go 2 for 2 on their power play. Tough play for Rask. A beautiful shot and a really good screen by the Tampa Bay power play. One of the deadliest power plays in the league. And that makes it a 3-2 hockey game We go to the third period, and we got a little bit of controversy here, as Tyler Johnson will get his second, making it a 3-3 hockey game. This goal went under review, as it was pretty clear and evident that it was played with a high stick. But the on-ice officials who got this one wrong, they claim that there was inconclusive evidence. It looked pretty clear to me from a couple of different angles that Johnson's stick was above the crossbar. But, I mean, getting a tie on a bad call is just not fun.
Bullshit!
But we go to overtime.
Overtime!
And it's going to be a point apiece for everybody. Huge 2-minute power penalty kill by the Boston Bruins from Adam McQuaid, Zdeno Chara, Brandon Carlo, and Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, respectively. All 4 of those participants out on the ice at one point or another during that penalty kill. In fact, Zdeno Chara, and probably the best I've seen of him, he was out there for the entire 2 minutes, killing that penalty in overtime to keep it a 3-3 tie. We go to a shootout, folks. Tampa Bay electing to shoot first. It's Filppula who gets stopped, Spooner for Boston, Kucherov, Marchand, Stamkos, Pasternak. None of those players score. It's Braden Point, the young rookie. I think he's like 20 years old. He beats Tuukka Rask backhand, but have no fear. Riley Nash with a little bit of nastiness on a beautiful move. He beats Vasilevsky. We're still tied. So we go a little bit further. Andre Palat, Bergeron, Johnson, Krejci, Killorn, Krug, Callahan, Moore, Strowman, Cesarnik, Nemestikov. None of those score, which leaves Boston with their 10th shooter, and it's Jimmy Hayes. So I'm just gonna get up. I gotta get a drink. We'll get ready for the 11th round. He scores, doesn't he? Of all people, Jimmy, no points, Hayes, with the game winner in the 10th round of your shootout.
You serious?
Only in Boston, folks. Only that. Weird things happening. Cats and dogs, mass hysteria. Jimmy Hayes, folks, is your game winner in the shootout. We go to the 3 stars of the game. Star number 3 with 2 assists, Patrice Bergeron. Hell of a game from him. Star number 2 with the first goal of the game, Brandon Carlo. And star number 1, standing on his head as always. 27 saves in this one. 9 out of 10 stops in the shootout. 2 U's, 2 K's. 2 much needed points for Tuukka Rask. 6 points on the road trip as they go through Detroit, Florida, and Tampa Bay and beat them all. The Bruins go home. They'll play the Rangers in a rematch from Wednesday Night Rivalry, which was actually reviewed on this channel. You can check it out. Actually, or maybe it wasn't. I forget. If it was, it's up. If it wasn't, I'm sorry for leading you on like that. Anyway, it is the New York Rangers. They come into Boston. We'll see you then on the next Bruins Recap Show.